Okay, let us start. So today we'll see the matching problems by using the Smith chart, and particularly today I will be talking about the single stub matching. Correct. So in the last class we have seen that how we can use the Smith chart to solve the different problem based on the transmission lines. Correct. Uh, Basically, if you see the Smith chart, this is mainly used for the matching problems uh, like in RF engineering, a lot of problem with the matching actually. Correct. So like if you are going with the analytical methods, you need to calculate the things. So by using the Smith chart, this could be like the problem could be solved, and we can also visualize the thing that where we are going. Like when we are saying the matching, so the things are coming like we have to manage with the capacitance and inductance. Correct. So as we have the idea about the Smith chart, that upper part is um, mainly showing the inductive behavior, and the lower one is showing the capacitive. Like if you are talking about the impedance chart, and it will be reverse if you are using the admittance chart. Correct. Now we have to reach somehow at the center for the perfect matching. Correct. So like today we'll take a very simple problem, which is based on the single stub, and that single stub how we will utilize to match the system. We'll see. Correct. So okay. Okay. So now the thing is, let us draw a transmission line. So let's say we have this transmission line. Okay. And we connected a load at the last. Let's say this is ZL. Fine. And at some point, on some location on the transmission line, because we have to match the system. Okay. So let us say the characteristic impedance of the transmission line is R0. Okay. And in this way, we can also define some of the things like YI, input admittance. Okay. And it's supposed to be equal to Y0, 1 upon R0. Fine. Now, the thing is, at the moment when you are connecting the load, you require a proper match actually. So we are going to connect a stub. Okay, that this stub may be open or short-ended. Correct. So like critically, if I say, so to realize the short circuit is somewhat easy as compared to the open circuit at the higher frequencies. You just need to means connect the wires. Okay. So let's say this is stub having the characteristic impedance is same of R0. Fine. Okay. And the length of this line is, let's say, L. And here at this point, this may be short circuit or open circuit as per your wish, or as per the design actually, or the requirements. But mainly you will see that we are going to do with the short circuit. But some problem I'll give you where we are using the open circuit as well. So we should ready for both the situation. Correct. Now another thing is that this stub actually, this blue color to our system, we are called as a stub. Okay, connected at the location of the D from the load. Fine. From the load it is connected at the location D, and let us mark here this is B dash. Fine. These points we are representing as B and B dash. Correct. Now let us define some of the admittance here. So keeping this fact that this is the point where we have to do all sort of exercise. So this is actually from this side, if you see, this is yi. What is this? This is input admittance. Normalize input impedance. So we'll put normalize like this. Okay. And if you see from this side, correct? So you will experience that the admittance offered by the stub. So let us denote as YS bar, correct? And from this side, towards the load, okay, we are expressing the admittance as YB bar. Okay, we are interested in the normalized values only. Fine, correct? So this is the system. Now what actually we are going to match? Try to understand. Like when this is a transmission line, okay, and when you are connecting a load, fine. So load actually is maybe some unknown device or unknown these things, passive or active elements, correct? You have to match with this thing. So in that case, what will happen? The ZL and the transmission line impedance will be fixed, correct? So we don't have the scope actually to change the things. So what we can do, how we can manage actually, okay? How we can manage, how we can make the equal these two things so that efficiently the power is going to the load side, okay? Or system will be matched, so there will be no reflections. Fine. So what we can do, we can choose an location, okay, a location over the transmission line where we can manage with providing the extra capacitance or inductance. Fine. So now it is quite clear from our transmission line basics that if you are using the if short circuit transmission line, so it is always a reactive. The J term will be there. It means it will offer a capacitance or inductance based on the length of the transmission line or length of the stub. Fine. So in this way, the capacitance or inductance could be balanced, okay, for the overall system. Fine. So this is the idea actually. Now we'll try to learn here that how we can find out these D and L so that we can properly match the system. Are you getting this thing? So the objective is to find it out D and L here. Fine. So what the parameters to be changed here, the first is this things, the distance D, and second the length of a stub L in order to provide the required value of susceptance. Okay. Mainly the thing is we are connected like here, this shunt, so we can use it because the things are parallel. So better to use admittance. That is why susceptance. Okay. Otherwise, X term will be there. Fine. Now, another important point you have to keep these things, that for a given susceptance or reactance, it depends the situation actually what you are going to use. The difference in the length of open circuit or short circuit stub is 2n plus 1 lambda by 4. Fine. Now let us try to write some equations. So as we have seen, the yi input admittance will be equal to yb plus ys. Fine. If you are going to normalize this, so we can write yi bar is equal to yb bar plus ys bar. These are the normalized values. Fine. Okay. Now the thing is, let's say this input impedance and the characteristic impedance, okay, is same actually. So we can write it these things as 1. Okay. So better to put 1 actually. Okay. So this is 1. Fine. So this situation we need to realize. So what is this? This is a desired condition for the matching. Are you getting these things? Like, what is this? Just I'm repeating once again for your information that this is the point y I, which is the input impedance, and this is supposed to be equal to the characteristic impedance. Let's say characteristic admittance. Sorry. So this will be 1, and this should be equal to YB and YS. Then only we can say this is a perfectly matched system. Fine. So keeping this fact in our mind, so how we can do these things? Like, the one thing is clear that S stand for the stub, correct? This stub, that admittance offered by the stub is always imaginary. It's purely imaginary. Purely imaginary, correct? It means that okay, there is a no real part with this. Okay. So if I say the solution of this equation, so easily I can guess. Okay, how I can guess? The solution of this equation will be yb bar will be 1 plus j small b b, or I can also write these things. Sorry, this is one thing, and ys bar will be minus j b this thing. So this is the possible solution if I write. So if you add these two, this will be 1. This will be 1. Or you can also choose like that, 1 minus jb and ys is jbb. This is also true. So there will be two possible solutions. Correct? There is a two possible solutions. Correct? So this is one set. Another set will be 1 minus jbb and ys will be plus jbb. Correct? Another set actually. Correct? Now let us talk about the some of the objectives actually. So here the distance d actually, the distance d is adjusted to make the real part of the normalized admittance to be unity actually, and the length L, as I told you, this will provide you the purely imaginary value. So the L is adjusted to the cancel the imaginary part, means you can manage the capacitance inductance and it will be going to add in the overall calculations. Correct? So in this way you can manage the matching actually. Correct? Now, so this is the theoretical part. Correct? If you see, this is quite easy actually, but the thing is how we will do over the Smith chart, because ultimately we have to find it out, the D and L. And one fact is clear from this these expression, that uh, the possible solutions. So we can have this possible solution. We can mark over the Smith chart, okay, and we can find it out the corresponding length and distances. Correct. So for that actually, I would like to take one example here so that I can explain this thing in a better way. So this is an example from the book again from the D.K. Chang. Okay. So the statement is, the statement of the problem is, a 50 ohm transmission line is connected to a load impedance of ZL is equal 35 minus J 47.5. Correct. Find D and L of short circuit stub required to match the line. Okay. Fine. How we will do? Okay, so please open your Smith chart, because it require to understand. So I'm going to tell you some of the steps. Okay, I'm again repeating once again a problem. We have a 50 ohm transmission line. Fine. We have 50 ohm transmission line, and there is a load we connected. This load is 35 minus J 47.5 ohm. Fine. Now we have to match the system. We have to match the system. So the thing is, you can clearly see here there is a characteristic impedance is 50 ohm and the load is this thing. So definitely there would be mismatch. So we need to find a location over the transmission line first. Then after we have to connect our short circuit stub. Okay, and we need to find it out D and its L. Okay, so this is the objective. Huh? I hope you're getting the things. Fine. So we need to solve with the Smith chart. Even if I say analytically, you can solve this analytically also. Fine, there is no issue. There is an expression available in a book. You can also see, but the things are very cumbersome. So I would not suggest to go with the analytical method. You please try to solve with the Smith chart. It will take less time. Okay. So now the thing is, like we have seen a very important thing, which is the solutions actually. What I told to you. Okay. So that for the matching actually it is needed that YB plus YS should be 1. Correct. And for this actually we have seen the solutions as YB bar is 1 plus JBB and YS as minus JBB. This is the one set of the solution. Now if you compare with this G plus IB, so what you will see that G is 1 here. G is always 1 here. Correct. G is always, what is G actually? G is G plus IB. Correct. G plus IB. Huh? For admittance case. For impedance case, it is, what is the admittance case? This is R plus IX. Correct. So it means that we need to first identify G is equal 1 circle. Okay. We have to identify G is equal 1 circle. Correct. So this is Smith chart. Okay. This is Smith chart. We can use as an impedance chart, as an admittance chart. I already explained these things. Fine. Okay, the things will be shuffled. Okay, and the same impedance chart could be utilized for the admittance chart. So we have seen. Now here, if you try to see the G is equal to 1 circle, huh? So you have to mark. You can see this red circle. Okay, if you see the red circle, so you will find that this is a 1. Okay, the radius, this complete value is, diameter is 1 here. So this actually, this is the G is equal 1 circle. Correct. You please check. This is G is equal to 1 circle. So whatever the intersection over this circle will provide the possible solutions. Correct. So what are the possible these things steps are here? So first we need to draw a constant gamma circle. Fine. How you will find it out, the constant gamma circle? You need to indicate the YL bar. What is YL bar? This is a normalized admittance of the system, load admittance, sorry. Okay. And then after, what you need to do, you have to move wavelength towards the generator, because you are at the load side. You have to move from the load to generator. Correct. And when you are moving on the constant gamma circle, this constant gamma circle will be going to intersect with G is equal to 1 circle at 2 different points. Fine. It will be going to cut the 2 different points, and these two different points are the solutions actually. Correct. So now this is a green circle. You can see this is a constant gamma circle. So you need to prepare, okay, the constant gamma circle like this, okay, and the G is equal to 1 circle. Fine. Just a minute. So let us try to mark the things. Okay, so step by step I'm doing the things here. So first step, okay, please see the things carefully. So first we need to find it out the ZL bar, correct? Because the ZL is given here. So what you need to do, ZL by R naught. So if you solve, you are getting 0.7 minus 0.95 J. You need to indicate over the Smith chart these things. So let us indicate these things over the Smith chart. So let us choose a color. So I'm taking the blue one. Okay. So if you try to find it out this P1, so 0.7 minus 0.7 minus 0.95, correct? Okay. So where this is, can you find it out this point? So at this location, huh? Can you find it out these things? So first we need to find it out 0.7, okay? 0.7, then after 0.95, fine. So now here, if you can see this particular point, this is 0.995 will be like this, fine. And 0.7, if you try to find it out 0.7, so 0.6 is this, 0.7 will be here, correct? So, okay. So now let us mark these things. Let us mark. So 0.7, this point, and 0.9, sorry, 0.95. 0.95 is this point. Okay, so this circle and 0.7. So this is 0.6 and this is 0.7. So this is somewhat here. Okay, so this is the point. Okay, please try to mark over the Smith chart. Please try to mark over the Smith chart. So this is point P1. Let us make it P1, and this is actually what? This is ZL bar. Now, from the properties of the Smith chart, we know that if you move 180 degree, so we'll be reaching at the point, okay, which representing the admittance point, correct? So better to just draw a line like this. So you will be reaching like here. So this is P2 and this is YL bar. Fine. Ultimately, we have to write all the things in a admittance form. That is why I am doing the things. Fine. Okay, this is point. This is the center point, and it is passing from the center. Okay. So please take care. I cannot draw actually the perfect lines and the circle actually because I'm using the PPT. So I'm expecting that you are doing with me, correct? Otherwise, you will not be getting the proper the values of the Smith chart, correct? So please try to do now. So this is the point. Okay, this is the point P2. What is that? This is actually the load location. Fine. This is the load location P2. I'm marking P2 here. This is a load location, and right now this is YL bar. Fine. Now what we need to do actually, then after, because this is a constant gamma circle, this is a constant gamma circle. How will design the constant gamma circle? I hope you remember the things. Fine. I hope you remember the things. Okay. So taking this this radius, and you need to draw this circle, this green circle. So this is a constant gamma circle. Fine. Okay. I just skipped this term, this step actually. Now, so now what we need to do actually, because somewhere at some location you are going to connect with the stub, short circuit stub. So what we need to do, we need to move from point 2 to some location. Let us say this is P3. Okay, and where we are going? We are going towards the wavelength towards the generator side. Wavelength to towards the generator side. So what scale will read? Wavelength towards the generator. Fine. So now if you see here that from P2 to P3, if you move, correct? If you move from P2 to P3, so you will be having the two intersection point. One is, let's say, P3, another is P4. So there are two possible solutions. As I told you, there will be two possible solutions. P3 and P4 will be providing these things, and we need to see the G is equal 1 circle, correct? The reason is clear why we want G is equal to 1 circle. Fine. So now let us talk at particularly point P3. So at P3, if you write the solution, this YB1 bar will be 1 plus 1.2J. Okay, how I have written these things? If you see, so this point is actually, this is the circle actually, susceptance, this things. So this is 1.2. So this is plus 1, correct? And at P4, this is, if you see this line, this is minus 1.4. This is minus 1.2J, correct? Now, with respect to this, we have YS1 and YS2. Huh? This is YB2. So YS1 will be minus 1.2J, because ultimately when we are adding, this is supposed to be 1, and this will be 1.2J. Fine. So now this thing is cleared. This thing is clear. Fine. Fine. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to find the values on the wavelength towards the generator scale, correct? So now you have to read these values. Okay. Okay, like this point. Okay, this scale you need to read actually. Okay, similarly all the points you have to read. So if you extend this will be like this, and this is like this. Fine. So all scale you're supposed to read it. Fine. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These scales you're supposed to read. Fine. Now, so another step is solution for position D. Correct? How we will find the position D? So we need to move from, we have moved P2 to P3, this distance. Okay, and how you will find it out, this distance? On the wavelength towards the generator. Okay, this is P2, this is P2 point you need to read, and this is the P3 point. So let us make, this is P2 dash and this is P3 dash. Fine. So if you read the P2 dash scale, so P2 dash is actually 0.109 lambda. Fine. Whereas P3 dash, if you read, it is 0.168 lambda. Correct? Fine. Fine. Now between these two, if you try to find it out, it will provide you the D. So D will be what? D will be the distance from P2 dash to P3 dash. Okay, and if you read over there, so you have to do like this: 0.168 minus 0.109 lambda. Correct? If you solve, this is 0.0559 lambda. Okay, fine. Similarly, for the point for P4 also you can do, and in that case you need to move from this point to P4, this point, correct? So here you have to find it out what is P4 dash. So P4 dash will be 0.332 lambda, correct? And P2 dash we already have, correct? So for P4, the D will be, this is the another solution, let's say D1, this is D2, this is another set of solution. Just means you have to find it out which one you want to take, means based on these things, correct? And sometimes you have to justify your solution as well. So this is 0.332 minus 0.019. this thing lambda. So if you solve, this is 0.223 lambda. So this is one solution, correct? Now about the stub, how you will do for the stub, correct? So for the stub, actually, if you see, this is a short circuit, correct? And from short circuit, you have to move to point P3. Fine. You have to move to point P3. So you need to indicate the short circuit over the Smith chart. So short circuit location is this. So from here, you have to move, okay, from P3, like you have to find it out first, because YS1, okay, if you try to find it out, YS1 is minus 1.2 J, correct? So as we marked over this 1.2 J, this thing, so you have to read this scale. And if you read this scale, this is 0.139 lambda. Similarly here, okay, for, sorry, this is plus 1.2 J, and this is, for this is minus 1.2 J, correct? So if you read this scale, so this is 0.361 lambda. Fine. So what you need to do, you need to move from this point to this point, and from this to this. So this is the first solution, and this is the second solution, like that. So it's quite easy actually. Like for the case when we are taking the solution as YS bar is minus JBB, okay, or minus 1.2 J. Fine. So what we need to do, we need to find it out the length between, or the distance between PSC, means P the point of the short circuit point, to P3 double dash, correct? Now this will provide you the L1. And what is the L1? So PSC to P3 dash, okay? So what is PSC? PSC we know 0.25 lambda will be there, and P3 dash will be like, so you need to subtract like that, 0.361 minus 0.25 lambda. So if you solve, this will be 0.11 lambda, correct? I hope you are getting the things I'm trying to explain. Okay, so this is this point, if you read on the wavelength towards 100, this is 2.25 lambda. Now from 0.25 lambda and 0.361, you need to find it out. This will provide you the solution, which is L1, and here it will provide the L2, correct? So in a same way, you can write the solution for YS bar when plus JBB. It means 1.2 J. So in that case, what will happen? The L2 will be PSC to that point, which is, let's say, P4 double dash, and PSC to P4 double dash, and this can be done. You have to add, actually this time you have to add. So this will be 0.139 lambda plus 0.25 lambda. This is 0.389 lambda. So now you have the two solutions. One is D1, D2, L1 and L2, correct? So one set of solution is this, another set is this, correct? Now the thing is like that, if you see overall here, so what actually we are doing, okay, once again I'm just making the summary here. So first of all, we have find it out the point, the load location. So we are going to do here in terms of admittance. So the P2 is the location of the admittance, load admittance. Fine. Now we know that the addition of these two possible solution is 1, correct? And it means that we need a G is equal 1 circle. So we are indicating the G is equal 1 circle over the Smith chart. Now when you draw these things, this constant gamma circle, which is in a green, it will cut in a 2 points, correct? And these points are really very important, because if you see the point P3, so what you can see, if you find it out, it's G and B. Okay, so you can write 1 plus 1.2J. Fine. This is what, okay, this is what, this is YB. Fine. And because we have to find the proper solutions, okay, so we have to find the admittance for the stub, and the stub will be, the value of that thing will be, you have to manage the negative. It means minus 1.2J, correct? And that minus 1.2J we will be getting at the bottom side, this location, somewhere there, correct? Okay, so that is why we need to find it out the first set of the solution dA and L with respect to the point P3 and these things, and similarly for the other case as well. But you need to careful here that when we are moving from the load towards the generator, correct, so you have to read the correct scale, which is the wavelength towards the generator. So in this way you have to find the electrical length, and you have to add, subtract based on the situation, correct, and hence you will be getting the desired length of the stub as well as the location of the stub where you have to connect, so that you will be getting the proper matching, correct? So simply if I talk about the application of these things, so let's say if you have an antenna, correct, as a load, fine, if you have an antenna as a load, correct, and it has some the complex load, fine, you are adding that antenna. So for the proper matching with the main line, you have to connect the stub. So before the antenna you have to connect a stub, and that stub will be the capacitive inductive based on the situation, and hence the system will be properly connected, because this is a very critical situation. Like any transistor system, okay, the antenna is here, first element is antenna. Let's say if I'm talking about the receiver, the first element is antenna, okay, if it is not properly matched, so you cannot process the signal and all, okay. So immediately you can use the concept of the single stub matching, and you can match your system perfectly, okay. So this is one thing, and many applications are there of this matching. And sometimes the thing is it is not valid, I would say, this single stub matching, so we require some other kind of